guys, Miss Culture here for a second math video of the day. So if you checked out my earlier video, we were having a recipe, and now in today's math lesson we are going to make the cookies. We're making chocolate chip cookies today. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all of the ingredients that we need and how much of the ingredients we need up on the side there for you, and then we're going to measure it out. So I'll be measuring it using a kitchen scale, and then I'm going to teach you guys how to read the scale. Let's go into my kitchen. Come on, guys. So these are the ingredients that you'll need for this recipe. So if you pause it on this screen and get those ingredients out, then we will show you how to measure them. All right, guys, to start, I have my plain flour. I have my salt. I have my baking soda. Now, I forgot that in England, you guys call it bicarbonate of soda. So when I say baking soda, that is what I mean. My apologies on that. I have my unsalted butter. I have my granulated sugar, my vanilla extract, my egg, my brown sugar, and my chocolate chips. So we are ready to get going. All right, guys, so I got this lovely little kitchen scale, actually from Poundland. So if you look here, we have our scale on our lines on our scale. So they go up in 20s. So 0, 20 is that line without the marking. 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, etc. All right, so the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure your scale is zeroed. That means that I need to move this until that line is exactly at 0. So there we have it, our scale is zeroed. All right, guys, so we need 175 grams of flour. So if you look here, this mark right here is 100. Oh, sorry, guys. This mark right here is 180. So it needs to be just underneath that little line there. So let's get started. Let's try and make this into 175. All right, guys, so I'm going to try and do this so that you can see what I am doing as well. So I'm going to take my scoop from my flour, and I'm going to put my flour in until it gets to almost that 180 mark. So if we pop it in there, you can see on the scale there. We are almost at 40, so we're going to continue to put flour into our container at the top until it reaches almost to that 180, so almost halfway between the 160 and the 200. All right, guys, I put in 3 more scoops of that flour into the top there, and it is almost at 160, so we're almost there. I'm going to put about half another scoop in there to try and get it to that 180 mark, which is right between that 160 and 200, well, just below it for 175. Right, so I put in that last half, and now as you can see, our scale is almost at that 180 mark, which means that that is 175. So we're then going to take that flour and we're going to put it into our mixing bowl. And then we're going to move on to our bicarbonate of soda. Now for a teaspoon, if you have a measuring teaspoon, that's fantastic. If you don't have a measuring teaspoon, then you can just use a normal teaspoon that you would use to mix your tea. Let me get one out here. So just one of these, if you don't have one, they're not exactly accurate, but they're quite close to a normal measuring teaspoon. So if you don't have a measuring one, like this one, then you can use just a normal teaspoon. All right, so I am going to do this just so that you guys can see what to do at home. All right, but if you have a measuring teaspoon, you can use your half a teaspoon as well. So I'm going to show you what to do with this. A full spoon like this is 1 teaspoon. Now we don't want a full spoon because we only want half of a teaspoon. So you're going to get rid of about half of that so that it should look like that. So about half of a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and you're going to put it in with the flour. All right, guys, so for this one, we're going to be doing half of a teaspoon. So just the same we did with the bicarbonate of soda. So we're going to put about half of the teaspoonful. That way we have the proper measurement. So if it was 1 teaspoon, you would fill the whole spoon. But because it's just half, we're just doing half. All right, guys. Now for my birthday, I got this really cool wooden spoon from Miss Patel that says Baking Queen and my name. It's not always Miss Qualtrics. Sometimes it's Erin for other adults. So I'm going to be using that one today. So shout out to Miss Patel and thank you for your mixing spoon. So we have put in the flour, the bicarbonate of soda, and the salt. And all that we're going to do is we're going to mix it all together so that it's all mixed up. Just like that. So it should be all mixed up together. All right, guys, the next thing we're going to do is our butter. So there's 250 grams in this whole bar of butter, but I only need 115. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut it in half, and then I'm going to use my scale to get exactly 115. And on our scale here, you can see the 120 mark there. So we're going to go just below that 120 mark, should be about 115. All right, guys, I put in about half a packet of the butter, and as you can see here, it's quite a bit more than we need. So we need 115 grams, which is just below the 120 mark, so it'd be about there. So what we need to do now is we need to take away a little bit of the butter. I've taken away a little bit of the butter so that you can see here, it is just below the 120 mark, which means that we are at about 115. So our butter is measured out. All right, guys, now in another bowl, so a clean, nice, empty bowl, we're going to put the butter that we've just measured. All right, guys, so as you can see, our butter is in our new bowl. And now on our scale, we are going to have to do 100 grams of brown sugar. So 100 grams is that line between 80 and 120. So we're going to need to do until it's right there with brown sugar. So let me get started. All right, guys, so as you can see, I've dumped in the brown sugar into the top. And as you can see here, we are right at 100 grams of brown sugar. So then we're going to put the brown sugar in the bowl with the butter. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with the granulated sugar. So we need 100 grams as well. So it's going to be halfway between the 80 and the 120 there of granulated sugar. And as you can see here, I've added a bit too much sugar, so I'm going to have to empty it until it gets to 100. All right, guys, and as you can see here, I've emptied a little bit of the sugar, so it is now at the 100 mark. So I'm going to put that in the bowl with the brown sugar and the butter. All right, guys, so we have the granulated sugar, the brown sugar, and the butter all in that bowl. Now what we're going to do, we're going to use our arm muscles. If you have an electric mixer at home, you can use an electric mixer. Now, I figure some of you guys do not have an electric mixer at home, so I'm going to do it by hand. So you just need to mix this until it is nice and creamy. So it should take probably about 3 minutes. So if you have an electric mixer, you can mix it for about 1 to 2 minutes with an electric mixer. Now, I didn't use an electric mixer today. Oh, my kitty's just meowing there. Sorry if you heard that. I'm not going to use an electric mixer today because some of you guys don't have an electric mixer at home. So I've mixed it by hand, and that was after about 3 minutes of mixing. So it should look something like that. But if you have an electric mixer, only about 1 to 2 minutes. It shouldn't take too long. So we are now going to add in the egg into our mixture with the butter and the sugars. So if you take your egg, and you can get an adult to help you if you're not sure how to crack an egg. But we're going to crack our 1 egg into our mixture with our brown sugar, granulated sugar, and butter. So mixing in the 1 egg, and then we're going to also mix in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right, guys, so we're going to put in the vanilla extract. So we're doing 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we're going to fill the whole thing. So it should look like that if you see the whole thing is full. And then pop it in with your butter, brown sugar, granulated sugar, and now 1 egg. And then just mix that up until it's all combined together. All right, so we've mixed it until it's all combined, so it should look something like that. Alright guys, now what we're going to do, we're going to put our flour mixture that we did at the beginning of this recipe in with our egg mixture, and we're going to mix it all together. Now be careful because the flour mixture will make it very dusty, so just put in a little bit of flour at a time and then mix it together. Alright guys, we've mixed it all together so it should look something like this. Now we need to measure our chocolate chips to add it in. Alright, so we need 175 grams of chocolate chips. So that means it's going to be right under the line between the 160 and 200. So it should be right about there. So let's add our chocolate chips until there. Alright guys, so that took almost 2 packs of chocolate chips. But as you can see there, it is just about at that 180 mark. So let's go ahead and put those chocolate chips into the mixture. So we've now put our chocolate chips into our batter. Now it's time to mix. Our dough is all mixed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to throw it into the fridge for about half an hour. This next part you'll need an adult to help you with. So you need to pre-warm the oven to 190 or 170 if you have a fan oven. So ask your parent to set the oven for you and then take your cookies out of the fridge. Once your cookies are out of the fridge, get a baking tray and cover it with either parchment paper or aluminum foil. Alright guys, so the next part you're going to do, you're going to be using your hands. So make sure you wash your hands. So you're going to reach into your bowl and you're going to grab some cookie dough. You want to grab about that much. So a good amount. Then you're going to squeeze it and roll it into a ball. So it should look like that. And then you're going to put it on the sheet, making sure that there's room between all of your cookies. So once you're done one sheet, it should look like this. The next step is to put it into your oven for 10 to 12 minutes or until the edges of the cookies are light brown. When the cookies are done baking, take them out of the oven, leave them to rest on the pan for about 5 minutes, and then you can take them off the pan and put them on a plate ready to cool down. Then your cookies are ready to enjoy.